Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a crowd gathered around an arena, which is in the shape of a circle. As spectators cast their wagers, two persons start to draw two circles from opposite sides of the board. Two men can be seen standing in the center of the circle, wearing bulletproof jackets. In the thrilling arena of competition, the objective is to send your rivals tumbling out of the ring, where the tension is palpable. Each match is a pulse-pounding spectacle, and the action never stops. The player's ultimate aim is to land precise shots on their adversary's target, sending them flying out of the circle, for a suspenseful 5-second count. The anticipation is electric as the players await the signal from the referee. Amid this gripping contest, the spotlight falls on a remarkable contestant named John. With lightning speed, he whips out his weapon, and lands a game-changing shot on his opponent's jacket. His challenger struggles to rise, but John seizes the moment, delivering a decisive blow that secures his victory. Next up, the stage is set for an incredible showdown between a fierce young woman, known as Colt, and a stoic bold competitor. Colt proves herself to be a force to be reckoned with, firing off a rapid volley of 5 shots, to clinch her well-deserved win. With her prize in hand, Colt approaches John, initiating a fateful encounter that would alter their paths. John, not the one to shy away from a challenge, seeks out the enigmatic figure behind it all, the renowned duelist Zeringer, through an exchange with the event's organizer, Reggie. His determination knows no bounds, but he's asked to exercise patience for the time being. Undeterred, John steps outside the arena, only to cross paths with Colt once more. Their exchange takes an unexpected turn when Colt discloses a shocking revelation. She has a personal vendetta against a man named Red, who happens to be John's acquaintance. It turns out Colt's motivations run deep, and she enlists John's assistance to track down this elusive figure. An uncanny twist of fate reveals that Red is located in the very town that John must journey to. Yet, lacking a vehicle, Colt extends a tempting offer to John. She'll provide him with a ride if he assists in her quest. As they hit the open road, the tension between them slowly gives way to candid conversation. Each mile brings them closer to their destination, and to understanding each other's stories. The next morning, their journey leads them to a desolate train station, where another test of skill awaits. With John gearing up for the showdown, Colt finds herself engaged in a cryptic dialogue with a mysterious individual, by the name of Huey. Something about her search for someone has piqued his curiosity, and Colt struggles to conceal her true intentions. But Huey soon unravels the truth, and delivers a startling revelation about the person Colt is hunting. As the duel commences, John takes a split second to collect his thoughts. A well-placed shot grazes his jacket, but he rebounds with a vengeance, landing a series of 4 precision shots to secure victory. The spotlight then turns to Colt, who faces off against Huey in a high-stakes challenge. A daring bet is placed. Should Colt emerge triumphant, Huey will reveal the whereabouts of the elusive Red. But if fate doesn't favor her, she's promised to carry out an intimate task. In a whirlwind of action, Colt demonstrates her remarkable agility, effortlessly releasing 6 rapid-fire shots on Huey's target. The outcome is nothing short of exhilarating, and the stage is now set for a journey filled with twists and turns and unexpected alliances. In the dimly lit hotel room, the atmosphere crackles with curiosity, as Colt delves into the heart of the matter. She inquires about the momentary hesitation that held John back from pulling the trigger initially. John, with a hint of vulnerability, confesses that he was driven by an unquenchable desire to know the sensation of a bullet's impact. As their eyes meet, an unspoken connection begins to form. With the morning sun casting new light on their journey, they continue on their path. Along the way, they find themselves pursued by a relentless police cruiser. In a gripping cat-and-mouse chase, Colt attempts to outmaneuver the law enforcement officers, but their pursuit proves unshakable. When their high-stakes escapade finally grinds to a halt, they're forcibly extracted from the car, and their concealed weapons are discovered. In the blink of an eye, handcuffs bind them, and they are whisked away, alongside an enigmatic stranger. As Colt remains in the car, John and the third party are escorted outside, thrust onto opposite sides of a grand fountain, and ordered to engage in a life-or-death duel. Desperation mounts as the Mexican man, trembling and inexperienced with firearms, pleads to be spared from the impending showdown. However, as the countdown unfurls, John takes decisive action, swiftly disarming and incapacitating the officers and the terrified Mexican. Remarkably, he leaves one officer alive, his sense of justice undiminished. Reuniting with Colt, John liberates her from her restraints, and the pair flee the scene. John's wounds lead him to seek medical attention, but he remains unwavering in his pursuit of challenge and competition. In the evening, he once again steps into the spotlight, this time at an event masterminded by Reggie. He emerges triumphant, solidifying his conviction to confront the legendary Zeringer. Determined to amass the necessary funds for this ultimate duel, John seeks out his friends, who hold the key to his financial ambitions. But for Colt, her quest takes a heartbreaking turn, as she learns the truth about Red's fate. Confronting Red's lifeless body, she grapples with the grim reality. Their paths converge once more, but the sands of time are slipping away. John is resolute in his pursuit of Zeringer, while Colt acknowledges the need to continue her journey homeward. In a poignant and profound farewell, they engage in one last duel, opting to forego traditional shots to the jacket, instead grazing each other's heads with bullets, a symbolic gesture of their shared experience. As Colt bids John farewell, their destinies diverge. John secures passage with a farming family, embarking on the next chapter of his journey. Along the way, he encounters a fellow traveler en route to an underground realm of illegal duels. With determination etched on his face, John joins the fray, ready to risk it all, for the chance to gain the necessary funds. In a showdown of epic proportions, John faces off against an imposing and feared adversary. He empties his chamber in a relentless onslaught, but the adversary remains unmoved. When the bullets find their mark, John falls, but his spirit remains unbroken. The stakes climb higher as the adversary retaliates, firing a barrage of shots. John takes a second fall but refuses to yield. With unwavering resolve, he rises once more, and as the adversary prepares for another volley, John seizes the moment and prevails. In the end, the referee's count tells the tale of his triumph. John claims his prize, pockets the hard-earned cash, and continues on his journey. Yet, as his wounds weigh heavily on him, he is eventually overtaken by fatigue, surrendering to a restful slumber. In the hours that follow, John awakens to find Colt by his side. Her caring presence envelops him as she tends to his needs, and as the next morning dawns, he discovers himself within the comforting embrace of a quaint home. Colt, with her generous spirit, provides sustenance and refreshment, but John's curiosity bubbles to the surface, and he yearns to understand her motives for returning. Colt, however, remains reticent, focused on her task of nurturing John back to health. Together, they share an entire day, allowing their connection to deepen and evolve. On the morrow, as John embarks on a regimen of pull-ups to reclaim his lost strength, he continues to persevere, his determination unwavering. Over the next few days, his unwavering commitment yields results, as he regains his vitality and vigor. It's during this time that he begins to share the intricacies of his life, the chapters that unfolded before his foray into the world of dueling. He paints a picture of a simpler existence, a life marked by relentless struggle, and an unending quest for purpose amid a sea of odd jobs, yearning for his own place in the world. He commits himself to rigorous training, honing his skills with the gun, until he's brimming with confidence. With newfound determination, they resume their journey, arriving at a modest motel, where they decide to spend the night. The next morning, as they share breakfast in a quaint bar, two local lads wander in, catching Colt's keen eye. An air of recognition hangs in the room, shrouding their encounter in mystery. Soon, she observes the enigmatic figure, Reggie, pull up to the bar to pick up a young man with a car. She pretends not to notice, a silent spectator to a clandestine exchange. Later, she suggests a leisurely stroll, but John opts for a well-deserved rest back at the motel. As the day unfolds, she finds herself thrust into a whirlwind of events. She witnesses a frantic girl brandishing a knife, and gives chase, only to stumble upon a lifeless man inside the bar. Two ominous locals loom on the horizon, triggering a harrowing shootout, in which John also joins the fray, dispatching their assailants. Shaken by the ordeal, Colt insists they must make a hasty retreat. However, the motel's owner assures them that the deceased assailants were brazen thieves, attempting to rob them. With a sigh of relief, they regroup, but her resolve begins to move. It becomes evident that she is harboring an inner turmoil. She has reservations about John facing off against the formidable Zeringer, fearing the specter of death that looms over him. Even if he emerges victorious, she believes he'll be forever altered. As she departs, she crosses paths with Reggie, but offers no words, merely a fleeting gaze. For John, the road takes a different turn, as he embarks on a journey orchestrated by Reggie. She ferries him to the presence of Zeringer, a man who stands as the mastermind behind the duels, and commands respect as the undisputed best. A picture of self-assuredness, he laments the degradation of duels from elegant contests of artistry, to sordid spectacles of gambling. John shares his sentiments, inciting a smug look from Zeringer. The stage is set, and Zeringer informs John that the duel will commence on the morrow, before making his exit. Meanwhile, in the privacy of his room, John finds himself visited by a half-naked Reggie. Initially resistant, he finds himself drawn into a tempestuous liaison. As the sun rises on the day of reckoning, Reggie, who's revealed as Zeringer's paramour, readies John's weapon for the impending clash. John, in solemn contemplation, prepares himself, both physically and mentally. The trio embarks on a solemn journey to a secluded hill, the chosen battleground for their contest. Reggie, the impartial arbiter, removes one bullet from each weapon, leaving only 5 for the duel. A defining moment approaches. John lays his bulletproof jacket aside. This duel will be a dance with death, devoid of protection. As he disrobes, Zeringer's disdain is palpable, spurred by the sight of John's battle-scarred body. The two adversaries lock eyes in unwavering concentration. With Reggie's signal, they unleash their shots, a synchronized symphony of fate. Yet in the final moments, we witness John's solitary walk away from Zeringer's domain, the outcome shrouded in tantalizing ambiguity. The tale concludes with a gripping, unresolved enigma, leaving us to ponder the fate of our enigmatic protagonist. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.